We've just been talking to a CEO who's outgoing, or certainly will be in March next year. And for the first time, I think, on this program, Henry Last is in his role as Chief Executive of Murray & Roberts. Brian Bruce, a long-time contributor to our program. Henry, he gave you a hospital pass to start off with. These financial results for the year to end June are really awful and I suppose difficult to explain, apart from the fact that sometimes your risk management goes wrong.
Alec, I must say, I took over from Brian at a very difficult stage within the cycle, within the construction cycle. And yes, you're right. We do have some challenges in the business, specifically in the area of some major projects that we are still in the process of closing out. But we have a plan. As a management team, we have put together a plan that we refer to as a plan of recovery and growth, which for the first year is really aimed at improving a liquidity position in the organization, but also returning to acceptable levels of profitability.
Henry, what's going on with Gautrain?
Gautrain is a project that is nearing completion. We hope to conclude our works by the end of this calendar year, December 2011. But having said that, this is a fixed price contract, and we started off with a problem right early on with the land that's been made available to us late. So the construction works started later than it was anticipated, and as a consequence of that, we had to incur significant costs to complete the program still in time. Having said that, we did not manage to complete it on time, which was March of this year, and we're looking at completing it by December. And as a consequence of that, we are still incurring some penalties in the process, but hopefully we will close it out by December. But having said that, we do have within our business a significant loss that we have declared as a consequence of the Gautrain project. But we also have submitted our statement of case, which is a claim that we have compiled, and that went in on the 29th of July this year. And it will take us a long time or a couple of years, in my view, to complete the arbitration process. And depending on the outcome of that, we may look back and have a different view on the financial outcome of the Gautrain project.
So there might be a bonus coming later on, but it's going to take some time to recognise.
It will definitely take some time.
The other big challenge, or perhaps the bigger challenge, is with the Competition Commission. It seems as though we've got these competition laws that everybody thought they knew very well, but maybe hadn't been studying as thoroughly as they might have.
Yes, Alec. If you go back a decade or 10 years ago, then we must be honest and understand that at the time there were transgressions of the Competition Act. It was rather common in the industry. Murray & Roberts has gone through a great deal of effort to eradicate that from its business. But early this year, as you know, the competition authorities has announced a fast-track application process, and in this attempt, they would like to clean up the issues of the past. And we have again evaluated our exposure in terms of potential breaches of the Competitions Act, and unfortunately, we had to submit a statement on the 15th of April. And in terms of that statement, we are exposed on some projects where we believe there may have been transgressions. And for that,
what kind of transgressions?
Well, the Act is very wide on that, but it is really a matter where companies perhaps get together and agree that there would be a loser's fee paid. In other words, 3 or 4 companies tendering for a project, and the successful bidder would then distribute some loser's fee to the others to cover their costs.
Throwing the book at you.
So it's a terrible thing that happened in the industry. But I can tell you, where I sit now today, I am not aware, and I would be very surprised if we still have any element of that within the organization.
Let's just understand that. You'd get together and you'd say, well, if whoever wins is going to pay those who lose a fee, so that you all bid lower.
That is what basically happened, and this is something of the past, where companies felt that the losers were not recovering their tender costs in the process, and the objective really with the losers fee was to cover the tender cost of the losing companies. It should never have happened. It is really unacceptable behavior, but that is what has happened in the industry in the past.
Unintended consequence of something that seemed, I suppose, like a good idea at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But the good news for you guys is that your order book is looking bigger and healthier than ever, up from 44 billion, incredible numbers, a year ago to 55 billion now. How much of that's coming from Abu Dhabi?
Actually, not too much. What we have done, we've reorganized the business in 5 operating platforms, and our Construction Africa and Middle East is grouped together. And in that platform, we have an order book of 10 billion. And if you look at the potential split between that, it's about 60-40, 60 South Africa and 40 in the Middle East.
I must tell you that I visited your projects in Abu Dhabi, and man, it's proud to be a South African and walk around there and see what you're doing with your university and some of the other big projects that are coming through. Then it's nice to know, David Shapiro, that Murray & Roberts is flying the flag, even though they're on a bit of the back foot here at home. It's got to be a stock that you got to be scratching your head about, because at 27 Rand today and 100 Rand 3 years ago, you're buying at bargain basement.
I think soon. I think what impressed me is that the market didn't respond to the results. In fact, the market went up today. So the market's already discounted all this awful news, and now we're waiting for the good news. And as we start to see those projects coming on, you're going to see some very sharp turnarounds. I'm still holding back. I still want to know that the bad news is, all the bad news is out the way.
Company